3 begins with a trip to my first Alaska National Park, Kenai Fjords. This was followed by a ride to the longest automobile highway tunnel in North America, the Anton Anderson 2.5-mile tunnel to Whittier. In Whittier, my bike and I hopped aboard a 6-hour ferry to Valdez, Alaska.
Kenai Fjords National Park. First national park in Alaska, first of 3, I believe, I'm going to be visiting. It's Alaska, so it's got to be raining, at least down here. It's supposed to be a couple inches of rain today. I've got a couple-hour ride after I do this hike.
Okay, I'm down here at the Exit Glacier Nature Center. See, I've got a can of bear spray with me. I'm going to go over to the Glacier View Loop Trail, and if time allows, I'm going to work my way up to the Glacier Overlook Loop Trail. So it's about a 2-hour round trip for the 2 of them, and about 1 hour for the Glacier View Loop Trail, from what I understand. And you can see Exit Glacier up here. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning, and there is Exit Glacier there in the center. It's retreating 1,000 feet in the last 10 years, apparently, but it was formed about 23,000 years ago at the last ice age. So that's where I'm headed, over to the right of it as you face it, and we'll do a short hike to get a little bit closer view. I'm not sure I can actually get down on the glacier. I thought I could, but do not believe I can. In any event, it's raining. I look ridiculous. I threw on a rain jacket over my motorcycle gear, so I'm a little overstuffed right now, but I needed something to try to keep my head dry, and that's about the only thing I have is the hood on this thing. There are a series of markers with dates along both trails which indicate where the face of Exit Glacier was in any given year. This is to demonstrate the rate of the glacier's retreat. There's the glacier. There's the, I believe it's called the outwash area. This is to the right of the trail. There's the outwash. To the left of the trail as I'm heading up. It's amazing how fast the glacier has been disappearing. 2005, and look where it is now. So much for being able to step on a glacier today. It's just way up there. Oh, what I'd give for a sunny day. It's still gorgeous in its own way. Look at the mist. This is the end of the trail. Look how much it's moved, 15 years. And a little depressing that it's disappearing so quickly. So that's it for Kenai Fjords National Park. Just kissing the edge of it. The rest of the park you actually have to take a plane or a boat to get into. But take what you can get when you're a motorcyclist. So back to the parking lot, back to my inn. Got to pack up and start heading north so I can get to Whittier and get to the ferry on time. I think I have to check in on the ferries at 1:15. It's about 7:20 right now in the morning here. This is a really good illustration of how the glacier has moved over the years. So my motorcycle is parked here. 1815, it was way beyond the parking lot. So 1917, 26, 51, 61, 97, 2007, and it's way up over here somewhere now. About 45 minutes out of Whittier, head north. About 15 minutes out of Whittier. I gotta go through the tunnel first. 43 degrees and raining. I'm glad my 50th state is Hawaii. I'm looking forward to the warmth. I went to the Whittier tunnel, and I'm going to be last in line being a motorcycle to go through the one-way tunnel. So it starts at 11:30. She thought I would get through around 11:45 and asked me to be there at 11:40, and she sent me back to this visitor center.
or I thought I was going to be able to get inside and warm up, but they're only open Thursday through Saturday. So today is Wednesday. I'm just hanging out here, trying to protect myself from the wind and the weather. That's kind of what today's been like, and yesterday. Let's give you a sense for it. The scenery is absolutely spectacular.
The tunnel roadbed for motorcycles is limited to the distance between the railroad tracks for the entire tunnel. U.S. railroad tracks are only 4 feet, 8.5 inches, or 1.44 meters apart. The tunnel authorities warn that contact with the rails can bring the bike down. Unfortunately, the rain stopped me from filming my transit. But needless to say, it was an interesting challenge keeping the bike within that narrow 4-foot, 8.5 inch gap for all 2.5 miles. Somewhere back there is the ferry. All right, I'm on the ferry. Bike's all tied down. We're still loading. It's 3:15 in the afternoon. We're almost unloading. I think it's about a 6-hour trip over Valdez from Whittier. Just a little eating area. It's the loading ramp I came down. Just a little slippery in the rain, but not bad. Fifth day of my trip, 4th day of my motorcycle riding in Valdez, Alaska. Gonna start heading north today. So I hope to get up to St. Elias Wrangell National Park, but there's a few scenic stops along the way. Hopefully it stops raining. It stopped right now, but I'm looking for dry conditions, and apparently it's gonna get a little drier as I head further north.
This is Glacier Lake, just north of Valdez by about 10 miles. Bridal Veil Falls and Keystone Canyon. This is a railroad tunnel. Started in 1906, but never finished. Apparently there's some feud between some of the railroad companies that wanted to have rights to this area, but carved out a solid rock. There's waterfalls coming down on either side of this canyon, about every couple hundred yards. Head north out of Valdez. What a beautiful canyon that was. My goodness. Well, this wasn't quite expected. I'm not sure how much of a hike it is. It's supposed to be a paved hike back to the glacier. I think that's the glacier there to the right, but I don't know for sure. I'm just going to take a walk up and see what there is to see. Well, my hopes of walking on a glacier are dashed again. There's no way I'm going to make it up there with my motorcycle boots on. Place is closed. Hard to believe, closed in June. Well, at least it finally stopped raining. It's sprinkling a little bit, but not bad compared to the last couple days. So I'm hoping to put my GoPro back into action. It is supposed to rain later on today though, so I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to stay tonight. There was a BLM camp that I was hoping to stay at, but if it's raining too hard, I may try to bail out again and find an inn somewhere. It's been a great ride this morning. Absolutely spectacular ride. Literally 60 seconds after I said it stopped raining, it's raining again. Hopefully it won't last long. There was actually some sunshine up there on the mountaintops. Haven't had any down here in the valleys. And the road looks like it's pretty dry at this point, which is a good thing. Just running right through these mountains. It's just fabulous. I passed a mountain pass at 2759 feet, I think it was. Not too high, but the temperature dropped down to about 38 degrees. It's up to 51 right now. And it was raining, so I was a little bit worried that it was going to keep dropping as I gained elevation, but it didn't, thankfully. And I'm back down here in the valley now, where the temperature is reasonable. I believe this is Wrangell-St. Elias National Park here to my right. It's a huge national park and very inaccessible other than by plane for the most part. I am going up to the Copper Visitor Center, and we'll see if there's anything I can do within the park. But I think it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, U.S. national park. Well, at least I am out of the rain. It really raises my mood after slogging through wind and rain and cold for 2.5 days. It is, what a blessing to be out on dry ground. Those are the mountains of the Wrangell-St. Elias National Park. Well, rode through some more heavy rain, but I made it at least to the entrance station, Wrangell-St. Elias National Park. Number 2 on the list here for me this trip in Alaska. I only have one more national park to go, and that would be Denali, where I'm going to stay 2 nights. The bike is over there, working well. So started in Valdez, worked my way up the Richardson Highway. I'm up here now at the Headquarters and Visitors Center, just north of Copper Center. I'm going to stay up north somewhere tonight. I'm not sure where yet. With this cold rain again, I'm inclined to look for another inn. There's really 2 roads that I know of to get in. One is McCarthy and the other is Nebezna, but they are both unpaved and they're very long, so I'm not sure that I have much interest in going there. So I just saw these trails that are near the visitor center, so maybe I'll get off the bike and take a walk, at least so I can have done something within this national park. This is the trail I'm taking outside of the National Park Service Visitor Center. It's about a half a mile. Two huge hawks took off when I hit this little bluff. They look small in the distance. They were big when they took off right next to me. Just looking down from the bluff onto the river.
1899, U.S. Army started building this trail. It became the first all-American route from the coast to the Alaskan interior. Extended first from Valdez to Eagle City over near the Canadian border, and then was later rerouted to Fairbanks. First it was a foot trail, then a wagon trail, and finally in 1919 a motorized roadway. The Valdez Trail was the main stem for Alaska pioneer travel. And this is looking down the Valdez Trail. It actually dead ends here, and the trail goes in the other direction behind me, but it's not being serviced. This is the non-service section of the Valdez Trail. Abandoned, apparently. Good morning. It's day number 5, and today it is not raining. I stayed in a motel last night, hopefully the last one for a while, heading to a camp northwest of Fairbanks, Alaska. It's about a 4-hour ride for me, and I'm looking forward to today, especially if there's no rain. So we'll see how it goes. It's a little cool out, about 47 degrees, but no wind and no rain. The last 4 days, I've hardly taken any GoPro video from my helmet because of the rain. It just completely destroyed the lens with the water spots. I'm getting even some water spots right now. But hopefully today's different. So I'm going to leave my camera on my helmet. It's about 8:45 in the morning. And just hoping for a dry day. Spitting rain on me. Not too bad. 48 degrees. A couple hundred miles to Fairbanks. Not much on the road. There's a couple cars every now and again, mostly trucks. Some of them are double trailer trucks, so they're really long. Spectacular mountains. They're covered in clouds, but they are throughout Alaska. Little picnic area off to the side of the road. I stopped. Supposed to be a view back here. I did get my heated gear set up. Just a touch chilly. Tanana River. Back on the bike. One thing I learned first day in Alaska, when they talk about road work or rough roads ahead, you better pay attention because they are serious. With the ice and snow up here, the frost heaves are significant. Unlike anything I've seen down in the lower 48, and they will throw you from the bike if you're going at speed and you hit some of this stuff. So that would be my one word of advice for riding Alaska, is to pay attention to the signs. They are serious up here. I had a chance to chat with a native Alaskan who used to live in a village that was not on a road. They had to fly in and fly out, and it was subsistence living. So she did that until she had children and then moved down to Tok and is now working for the road crew. But there's a patch, I guess, up here 100 yards wide or something like that. Not quite sure why they need the pilot car, but we'll find out. Hopefully the road's in decent enough shape for me to get through on my motorcycle. Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow. Took some frost heaves, I take it. So let's give me a thumbs up on the roller. Oh, that's not bad at all. At least it's not raining. I tell you, I've done a fair amount of riding, and that was pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. When I used to go sailing, there were times when the wind got so much and the seas were so bad, I used to describe it as becoming work. It went from fun to being work, and I think that a couple days here in Alaska riding a motorcycle, it felt more like work than having fun. The views are spectacular, but the actual motorcycling, man, that was tough going. So hopefully that's behind me, but who knows? This is Alaska. I have 2.5 hours to get into Anchorage. There's not a lot to stop for here. There's some stunning scenery, and there's very few cars and trucks. Occasionally one will pass, but not very often. The trucks, the double-bottom trucks, the
woman at that one construction site told me is from a gold mine, apparently, that's up here. She said they run back and forth all day long on this road, hauling their ore. Johnson River. Huh, it's like a wood bridge. Interesting. This is one long green corridor. At least they cut the trees back, so it gives me a chance to see wildlife. Black Veterans Memorial Bridge. The Gerstel River. Just refueled at Delta Junction, about 95 miles to go to Fairbanks, and it is mostly sunny out. This is quite a change. 51 degrees. What a way to lift the spirits. Road work ahead. Ah, the Alaskan Pipeline. My first view of it. Wow, that's quite an impressive bridge for it. Very cool. These road crews seem to have an appreciation for motorcyclists. They're all waving at me, giving me thumbs up. I don't see that down in lower 48, but up here for some reason they appreciate it. Described an early dinner. It is 3:52 in the afternoon. I'm on the Steese Highway, Alaska Route 2, headed northwest out of Fairbanks. Headed towards the Dalton Highway, but there's a camp I'm going to stop at tonight. The weather does not look good over the next couple of days, at least not to my liking, so I don't know how much farther northwest I'm going to go after tonight, but we'll see what the weather's like in the morning and then make a decision from there. Right now it's absolutely glorious out. Living good 67 miles. I'm not going that far today. Unfortunately, there's very few campsites over the next 50-60 miles, so I had to kind of make a decision whether to go far or short tonight. This road, pretty nice road and a pretty day, and I am at 999.9 miles, flipping to 1,000 miles. 1,000 miles of Alaska ride. All set up